Who knew that Grand Theft Auto and the Wild West would go so well together? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Red Dead Redemption moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're taking a look at the most memorable cutscenes, missions, and gameplay experiences from this hit 2010 game.
Come on, I know where we can find the parts for you.
Number 10. Filth and other entertainment.
Sure. Listen, any idea what the hell's going on here?
No, but it's brilliant.
Where Red Dead Redemption tells a gripping and even tragic tale grounded in reality, Undead Nightmare is essentially an excuse to partake in over-the-top zombie mayhem. On that basis, though, the expansion pack is a hoot, and this side mission is easily a highlight. Before there was George A. Romero, there was D.S. McKenna, a pioneering filmmaker who wishes to capture zombies to star in his picture. With some help from John Marston, McKenna finds the perfect actor for the starring role. This literally ends up biting McKenna in the face, however, as the zombies are more interested in eating his flesh than making movie magic. Suffering for your art has never been more hilarious. Number 9. AnAppointed Time.
Quítate, pendejo! Quítate! Una, dos, tres, bang, bang!
This mission opens with a bang and only keeps building momentum from there. In a duel against Raul Zubieta, Marston manages to save Abraham Reyes while also avenging poor Luisa. As rewarding as this death may be, the action is just revving up. Marston proceeds to free some rebel prisoners who join the attack against the Mexican army. This leads to an enthralling set piece as Marston, armed with a Gatling gun, breaks into the enemy's fortress. As an assault erupts on Escalera, Colonel Allende and Bill Williamson stage a getaway in a stagecoach. Following a thrilling horseback race, Marston catches up to the villains, who both get their just desserts in the unforgiving desert. Number 8. I Know You.
Do I know you? I hope so. I seem to know you.
John Marston comes across an assortment of colorful characters, although few are as intriguing as this mystery man in black. Marston encounters this nameless, well-dressed stranger in the middle of nowhere, which is already beyond bizarre. Even more surreal, the stranger knows a great deal about Marston and asks him to complete a series of simple tasks that put his morality to the test.
I hear that an old nun is traveling from the monastery, taking the money she raised at the bank. Why don't you head up there and see if you can lend her a hand? Road's full of thieves. Either that or rob her yourself.
Growing aggravated, John is eventually driven to shoot the stranger in the back, but his bullets have no effect. Who was this man? A figment of Marston's imagination? An embodiment of his ethically conflicted nature? The devil himself? The fact that we never find out is what makes this mission so unforgettable.
What's your name?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I can't remember.
Number 7. Mexican Caesar.
These two patriots were keen to make your acquaintance, Mi Coronel.
Fantastic! I love patriots!
Given the game's Western theme, it shouldn't come as a surprise that trains play a key role throughout several missions. For this heart-pounding set piece, Marston is tasked with manning a Gatling gun aboard a train traveling through Nuevo Paraíso. The beginning of the ride allows you to briefly take in the beautifully rendered scenery before the rebels start attacking.
Look! Do you see the...
Although you have a never-ending supply of bullets, you need to remain alert at all times, with enemies emerging from every direction. The mission plays out like a roller coaster ride that allows little time to breathe until you safely reach your final destination. Once it's over, you truly feel like an unstoppable one-man army.
Senor Marston, thank you for your efforts. The escort was a success.
Number 6. Birth of the Conservation Movement.
I ain't afraid of you, you dumb hairy bastard!
Another standout from Undead Nightmare, this mission is about as out there as the game gets. Taking a break from zombies, Marston finds himself hunting Sasquatch. As if that's not insane enough, the hairy beast speaks fluent English and clears up the vicious stereotype that Sasquatches eat babies.
We eat berries and mushrooms, you fool!
As Sasquatch tells Marston about how his species has been persecuted and practically hunted to extinction, we're not sure whether to shed a tear or laugh at the sheer absurdity of the situation. We're also forced to decide whether to put the misunderstood creature out of its misery. Number 5. The Outlaws Return.
Oh, darling. I never thought I'd see this day again.
You no-good hillbilly piece of shit!
After making it through hell and back again, Marston is finally able to reunite with his family. Since this is the moment John's entire journey has been working towards, you're overcome with anticipation just riding to the ranch. Even though the player didn't really get to interact with Marston's family up until this point, it still feels like a reunion with loved ones you've been eagerly awaiting. Of course, Abigail isn't too pleased with her husband at first, seeing as how he's been absent for so long.
Where you been? Where you been?
You know where I've been, darling. You know.
Following the initial rough patch, though, the family does reconcile in a satisfying manner. While this would have made for a happy conclusion, Marston's story isn't over yet.
Why don't I get the warm and tender embrace?
Consider the fact I ain't put a bullet in your embrace, old man.
Number 4. Entering Mexico.
Good luck, John. You're an angry and a back ugly man, but not a bad one.
Rockstar has developed a reputation for creating detailed open worlds that only become more immersive with each new location the player encounters. In Red Dead Redemption, few moments prove more awe-inspiring than John Marston's first ride into Mexico. What already seemed like a vast sandbox suddenly becomes infinitely grander. The moment is only made more cinematic and atmospheric with the accompaniment of the song Far Away by Jose Gonzalez.
It's so far away. It's so far away.
As Marston heads to his next adventure, part of you may wish that this horseback ride would last forever. It's instances like this that demonstrate why video games are much more than mindless escapism. They're works of art, capable of conjuring emotions we never anticipated.
Easy. Whoa.
Number 3. And the truth will set you free.
Looks like it's me and you, John. You should have stayed at home.
Before Marston can reunite with his family, he has to face off with his old gang leader, Dutch Vanderlinde. Since the game largely revolves around Marston atoning for the sins of his past, this showdown was always inevitable on his road to redemption. Dutch won't go down without a fight, however, forcing Marston and his allies to battle through an army of gang members as all hell breaks loose.
You tough guys, huh?
Look out! Man down!
Following an exhausting pursuit, Marston eventually manages to back Dutch up against the edge of a steep cliff. Realizing he's met his end, Dutch leaves Marston with a few poignant final words before plunging himself to a snowy resting place.
Our time has passed, John.
Number 2. The Assault on Fort Mercer.
Marshals of the law, when the shooting starts, take that as your cue to start awarding each other medals.
Of all the missions in the game, the assault on Fort Mercer is perhaps the most epic in scale. Calling the Magnificent Seven to mind, Marston and a ragtag group of men plan to attack the enormous fortress and capture Bill Williamson. In Trojan horse fashion, the theatrical Nigel West Dickens sneaks you in with his stagecoach. Upon receiving the signal, Marston breaks out his machine gun, and a rousing shootout commences. Fort Mercer becomes an explosive combat zone that only grows more chaotic once reinforcements arrive. While the mission is a blast from start to finish, John's journey is just getting started. Williamson has already escaped, setting the stage for your trip to Mexico.
Super feckin' Rosa! Well, I'll take you there, John. I'm real popular down there.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
We got the door open!
Every night's been cold without you, my sweet thing. Oh.
I thought I was sick in the head.
I told you he was funny, mister.
Number 1. The last enemy that shall be destroyed.
Jack, go into the house, lock all the doors. Whatever happens, don't come outside. You hear me? Whatever happens.
Okay.
Just as John starts to settle back into his old life, he's paid a visit by some old friends looking to tie up all loose ends. John puts up one hell of a fight, but Uncle sadly loses his life in the process.
Don't worry about me. Just get him out of here.
No!
Uncle, please!
After getting his wife and son to safety, it becomes clear that there's no way to kill every enemy, and John is about to open the door to his last stand. Having been through so much with Marston, watching him die a bloody death makes the player feel as if they've lost an arm or leg. This makes it all the more gratifying when Jack Marston settles the score years later. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.